How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. It's a little bit of an awkward and unfortunate episode. Unfortunately, I realized when going to edit episode 11 that my mic input was not connected. It was going off of my default setting as an input for the computer. So unfortunately, 4 full episodes of Progress have no sound. So here's a little recap of what happened through these 4 episodes, along with a time lapse of some of the events. I'm also, as you can see, not on the world that we're doing the Monopoly series on. This is a solo world where I kind of test things out to see what works and what doesn't work, the ideas that I potentially have. That way I don't waste any money on the actual Monopoly game. What we did was, up here on lot 36, that's where we had the Mootangs, we had the cow barn, and that was our base of operations. So we kept the plot of land, we sold all of the Mootangs and the cow barn. Now the reason for that was because it was just unproductive and it was really difficult to keep up with it, with the food, because the server was always up. So I would spend all the money on the cows and the buffalo. I'd spend all the money on getting them their food. They are going to come back, but just for the time being, to improve our productivity and profits, we decided to get rid of them. We sold the manure heap and all of the manure inside, and now that's just a open lot that we have windmills and solar panels on. So because the server is up and running constantly, obviously when we had leased vehicles, we have operation costs. So there were a few times where we were in the negatives. We don't want to be in the negatives because we're trying to be on top and we want to keep up with our expenses. Because what would happen is I would fill them up completely with food, I'd jam pack it just in a 1 day span. Like 12 hours later, we'd get back on. They'd be down to 0% productivity because they ran out of food. The downside is that buffalo take a long time to be productive. It takes a while. They don't produce milk as fast as the cows do, and the butter that they produce is very efficient in productivity. 3 inputs for milk gets you 15 butter. The unfortunate part is that it takes about, I think it's 33 and a half months, if I remember the chart that I looked at correctly, for the entire process to be profitable. So it just wasn't profitable for us to keep throwing the money at the food, and then they drop down to productivity, and then once I would reload the food, their productivity would slowly increase back to 100%, and then it would just be a repeating process. So we got rid of those for the time being until we can get it situated. Now, the other thing that we did was we moved our base of operations. So I sold the barn and the dairy and everything like that, and then we moved our base of operations down to lot 99 where the sawmill is. We paid back all of our loan, so now we're 100% debt free, which was awesome. The plan that we had to sell all of that wood and bring it to the sawmill and sell all of the products worked perfectly. And we bought a bunch of windmills and solar panels. I think I already mentioned that for the passive income. And so now when we jump on after a certain period of time, whether we take a day, 2 days, 3 days off, usually I'll jump back on to $1 million, $2 million, sometimes upwards of $5 million in our bank account, which is wonderful because then we can go and spend it on stuff like this. So now that we're getting decent amounts of profits that can maintain our operation, we'll be able to further our endeavors and jump into different opportunities. So the other thing that we did was we finished clearing the entire lot 99. We ground all of the stumps down. Obviously, I would be able to show you on the actual world, but the server's not up because that's another thing we had some technical difficulties with. The farm sim servers were having issues and you couldn't load your world. We planted lodgepole pines, 300 of them. We bought a paper mill. That's going really well. We got a couple of auto-loading log trailers. So we're transporting the lodge poles between the sawmill as well as the paper mill. So what we also did was we bought lands 77 all the way up to 82. So we got the paper mill down on 82, and we planted poplar on the rest of these using AI because we were cutting it close. We only had about 1 month. The other thing that we did, I don't know if I mentioned this, we planted grass. We made an entire field down on this lower section with the help of George. And so we plowed the field, planted grass, And now that's ready to be harvested, turned into either hay, silage, or we could just sell the grass. Now that's going to be helpful once in the future we get the cow barn back, because then we'll be able to keep up with the demand and just jam pack it, and we'll have the feeding robot so that can take care of it. The other thing that we did was we got rid of all of our leased equipment because our bank account was looking extra fat. We got rid of all the leased equipment and we purchased it instead. So I can't remember exactly what we did. So if you see in the next episodes where some equipment appears just out of thin air, this is why. We bought a harvester, a forager for the poplar. We bought a tractor. Basically just everything that we had that was leased, we just got rid of it and then purchased it, so that way we have that all in order. So we bought land 97. So we bought this plot of land over here, and this is where we made our base of operations and developed it into an actual shop space finally. We got a place to store our vehicles. There's a section of the land on this lower section down here that I don't really know what we're going to use, but whether we park equipment, put another shop, or whatever. So that's what we did down here. So again, I apologize for the difficulties. Everything is all situated now. It's unfortunate that 4 full episodes are combined into one because there was a whole heap of content. So bear with me if the upload schedule is affected, just so that I can record episodes and kind of keep up with it so that we have enough content. So just bear with me. I apologize, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming in the near future. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And in the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe. So follow us on TikTok as well, at @whistle_balls. We're going to just be posting little blips and clips through the episodes. It's just another spot to post a little content. Also, the other thing that I was thinking about too, I can start streaming the recording process, if that's something you guys would be interested in, so you could watch the actual ongoing grueling processes and not the edited version. So with that, enjoy the time lapse. I'll catch you guys in the next episode where I actually have my audio.